I was waiting for it to pop up. My bad.
No, you're good. All right. Discombobulated to start, but we are live. We got a doozy, fellas. Lions and Packers, going to be a fun game. Very important game as well for the NFC conference kind of playoff picture. Also, just, 51.5 point over under, I believe we got here. So should be a fun fantasy day. Unfortunately for me, I'm going up against a couple of these players in leagues. I know everybody, like a couple of people commented like, oh, I have so many players in this game. I hate having this many players on Thursday night. But man, I got to tell you, this is one of those games you want a lot of players in.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll tell you right now, you guys, if you did see my short, of course, we will actually be talking about our slips later on in the stream. But I think the Packers are going to win tonight, straight up. The Detroit Lions, their front seven right now, 13 players from their week 1 roster on their defensive line and front seven are out for this game.
Yeah, no, they've been down a lot of people. If you want to rip to the settings there and cover up the reviews, and then just go to the regular ones there, we can get to some of the site questions. There you go.
I realized it.
A reminder, if you guys do want to skip the line, we do have a number of questions loaded in here. The way to skip the line is to go to the.
By the way, shout out Gary. Shout out Gary. Appreciate you in here.
True. Go down to the pinned comment. I'm going to throw it in the chat right now. And you can submit your question that way and skip the line. So let's start with J-Pack here. He was the first one. Stafford versus Winston versus Caleb for week 14 QB. Yeah, I'd imagine we're going to get quite a bit of disgusting QB questions this week with Daniels on bye and Lamar on bye and all these like top end QBs on bye.
How do you have these guys ranked? Because for me personally, they're very close to my rankings. I have Caleb at 12, Levis at 14 against the Jaguars, and I have Stafford at 16. A little bit tougher of a matchup for Stafford against Buffalo this week. Whereas, Caleb Williams, for what it's worth, San Francisco tough matchup, but we've just been seeing so much Bears passing ball to the point where I'm fine trusting it.
Yeah, so I personally have Caleb the highest of this group.
Yep.
I think, like you said, the volume has been pretty solid there. Both the receive. If DJ Moore doesn't play because he's had some practice the last 2 days, that would probably change things for me. Stafford at home versus Buffalo is interesting for sure because you could see a game environment where he's got to throw, but it does profile more as like a Kyron game than it does as Stafford, Puka, and Cup. Winston, I probably wouldn't throw out there. I know he had a monster game on Monday night, but I probably avoid Pittsburgh on the road. Doesn't sound like a fun game environment to go after there. So I would probably go with Caleb Williams here, but if DJ Moore is ruled out, then I would probably pivot to Stafford.
Agree. I will say though, we're talking about this off stream. I actually had to make the decision in my home league. I'm only rostering one quarterback. I actually dropped Stafford for Levis this weekend. Even going forward, if you look at Levis's remaining schedule, we're talking about not even arguably, it is the easiest quarterback schedule remaining.
Well, he's got Jacksonville twice this week and in week 17. Yeah. So that helps when you're playing the worst defense in the league twice.
Yes, and for what it's worth with Levis, we'll talk about it when he's struggling, but if you've quietly paid attention these last few games, he's actually been playing really solid. Overall, we're talking about
both. I brought it up the last Monday stream we had where it was like, hey, Bryson Levis, like given the QB class, like you probably got to give these guys one more year if you're Carolina and Tennessee.
Like if you're looking through to, and like you said with the schedule, so week 14, week 17 versus Jacksonville, the second easiest matchup, easiest against quarterbacks, second easiest against wide receivers, smash spot for the passing offense.
Yeah.
Sandwich in there, you got Cincinnati and Indianapolis, who are also very bad against quarterbacks.
Yeah, Bengals are a bottom 5 defense. Colts playing a little bit better since DeForest Buckner's back, but they're still like a bottom 10 defense against quarterbacks.
For sure. So we are excited. And dude, I didn't even, oh no, this is the listener redraft settings. I was like, dude, has Levis been this good? Okay, let me go to a 4-point passing touchdown league to see. Even still, like playing solid, 15 plus points in each of the games since he came back from injury. He's been like, a top 15-ish level guy. And like you said, the schedule will be opening up. So enough with Levis though. Let's get back to the questions here. So with that being said, we would go with Caleb Williams there, J-Pack. Go to the next question here from Jay Moose. Week 16, 17, Burrow or Arich, and trust Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. It doesn't really matter. I don't even have to check what the matchups are. I'm just trusting Joe Burrow in those spots.
Yeah, I know. So the reason he's asking this question is because Richardson has great matchups. That's why he's asking.
And Bengals might shut down. There's like rumors of that. Like if they go like, what are they right now? 4-8? if they lose another
you
game.
tell Joe Burrow not to play a game where he's healthy. Like
Fair.
the whole like the team's gonna shut them down is only said by people who never played organized sports in their lives.
I mean, I get it, but like, for example, we've heard the risk being bothered for Joe Burrow at all. Like, if it comes at all in a game where it flares up, they're much more likely to shut him down at 4-8 than they would if they were 7-5 right now.
Of course, but like Joe Burrow's the type of quarterback that you like literally need to stretcher him off the field before he's gonna go out of a game. Like that's to me, I think that's the type of competitor he is. So is he gonna just like sit on the bench so that they can lose more games? Like I just don't see that as likely, to be honest.
Also, pretty crazy that they have a negative 5-point differential and they're 4 games below 500. That's pretty fucking.
It is
that's
insane. They're
luck.
like the best 4-8 team you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, just because the Cowboys are 5-7, of course, right?
Yeah, of course. Definitely getting fired. Also, like their defensive coordinator, he's going to be.
I'll give Lou some credit, dude. The personnel that they have on defense right now is so bad, and we've seen Lou in big games in the playoffs before, literally fluster Patrick Mahomes. So it's like. Yes, he probably has to leave the Bengals.
Someone's got to be a scapegoat, and it's not going to be Zach Taylor or Joe Burrow. So
I agree, but what I'm saying is Anarumo, wherever he goes, like I think him, Saleh are probably 2 of the hottest defense coordinators that I'd be looking into.
Yeah, Saleh's a good-looking guy. Anyways, next question.
We trust G. Will and Hall. I mean, you kind of have to at this point.
I mean, depends what you mean by trust. Like,
do I feel the greatest? No. But do you have to put them in your lineup? Yeah.
Yeah, at the very least as like a top 15 to 20 receiver and a top 10 to 15 running back. Not necessarily as like you absolutely play them no matter the matchup, blah, 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 depending on your other options. Maybe you have somebody that you could play over Breece Hall, but for the most part, yes, I trust them.
Yeah. Sanchez with the trade, entering playoffs #1, trading a guy fighting for the 8. So basically what this sounds to me like is you're trying to buy low on some studs, and I do see 2 studs on this side for some depth here. So the way we're looking at it, I mean, you're getting the 2 best players in the deal pretty comfortably. And when we're looking at these other pieces, I think Dowdle, obviously, his complexion is looking a lot greater moving forward. However, with that being said, if you can consolidate Dowdle, Pollard, Lamb, who without Dak is probably profiling more into the mid to back end wide receiver 1 status, and Brian Thomas without Trevor Lawrence is more of a high end wide receiver 3, in my opinion, you make this consolidation every time.
Yeah, I think so as well. Also, you said Dowdle's complexion. Well, what is wrong with his skin?
Not complexion.
Projection. You mean?
Projection moving forward. Sorry.
I was like, did you say complexion?
Yeah, no, I meant to say projection. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I meant to say projection. Basically,
Derrick Henry to me are the best players in the deal, so it's easy money there. I mean, Derrick Henry, I'm a little worried about the schedule that he has because he hasn't really performed in like the bad matchups that he's had. He smashes in great matchups and then he kind of struggles a little bit in bad matchups. But you do this trade in a start 8 league, you got to do it.
Yeah. And just talking quickly, I mean, anytime I get to talk about a Cowboy, this one specifically though, Dowdle is now getting a big time opportunity share. Dowdle has been playing well, playing good, efficient football. And I mean, obviously, you're making this trade in particular, but I'm saying
with all due respect, Danny, he's completely irrelevant in this trade.
I'm not talking about it for the trade specifically. I'm also talking about for those that maybe have Dowdle and want to know more about that.
Right.
Dowdle moving forward, I view as like a back end RB2 based on the usage he's getting.
Yeah.
You're making the deal regardless.
I still think he's a high end RB3, but
where do you have him ranked this week? We can make a Dowdle bet.
Well, there's 6 running backs on bye, so I guarantee he's in RB2 range for me this week.
Yeah. Where do you have him? Let's make a bet.
I have Dowdle at RB20.
Yeah, let's make a bet. Pick somebody you have.
Tyrone Tracy.
Not my boy. I need him in the flock league. Anybody else?
David Montgomery.
Sure. I have Dowdle at 12, Monty at 14. Sure.
Dowdle at 12.
Yeah. Okay. That is insane, by the way. My camera's literally plugged in.
Yeah, maybe plug it in. I'll throw you in the back seat for this one while you're actually you're the one who's actually making the start sits here in this. So maybe we'll go through this as we're going through here. But Maple Serple asks start sit question. He said he's considering Caleb Williams, Will Levis, and Matthew Stafford. So very similar to J-Pack's question. And like I said, I'd imagine a lot of people are going to have questions relating to quarterbacks because of Daniels and Lamar being on bye. Caleb Williams, Will Levis, and Matthew Stafford. Currently, the way I have this ranked, I'll probably answer a lot of people's questions just by saying this. So this might be helpful to a number of people. So outside of QB1 range, so like your Herberts and your Tuas and like guys who are probably rostered, my QB 11 and who I would consider to be probably the best streamer this week, who's probably widely available, is Russell Wilson versus Cleveland. Then I have Jared Goff, a little bit lower than consensus just because Green Bay's a little tough against the pass. Like I think this profiles as like a Gibbs Montgomery type of game. Brock Purdy is my QB 13. Will Levis, my QB 14. Caleb Williams, my QB 15. Geno, my QB 16. And Matthew Stafford, my QB 17. So my answer to this question would be Will Levis.
What are you talking about? Sorry?
This question right here. Caleb, Will Levis, Matthew Stafford, and then the back end QB1 range. I just thought I'd list off some names because I figured a lot of people are going to be having QB questions.
Okay. Who did you say?
I said it would be Levis over Caleb and Stafford for me there.
We literally answered a question earlier. It was these three quarterbacks, and you said Caleb.
No, Levis was not in that question.
Yeah, it was.
No, he was not.
Oh,
Winston.
I brought up Levis. My bad.
You just made it about yourself after.
I thought Levis was in this question. Did I read? I read Winston, and I thought it said Will.
No,
that's what happened. Oh my!
Now you were looking at it with Danny-colored glasses.
No, dude. On my life, I looked at my rankings and I saw Will Levis sandwiched between these quarterbacks, and I just assumed in the question it was Will Levis. My apologies. Sure, we'll go Levis.
Dowdle probably turned off your camera.
He's funny. Like, shh, don't be talking the good word, man. I'm gonna cook.
All right, here we go. Will Levis, running back. I mean,
Rico, baby.
Rico's apparently your guy. I mean, he's better than those options, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Scroll down here. We got tight end or flex options. So,
no, we're not going Debo. We're not going Debo. It's Isaiah Pacheco. We're not going Debo. No.
I can't.
He's dog urine.
I can't.
He's dog urine.
Argue in favor of Debo anymore. I would say that I would actually prefer, given that none of these options are really moving the needle a ton, is that you could just play Jameson Williams and go for the ceiling play and the long touchdown.
See, I would be personally willing to play Pacheco because I think he gets more work the second week off.
I think he will too, but it was only 30% snap share last week. So, is he going to jump right up to like 60, 70% of the snaps? Maybe he's still kind of eased in to some degree.
And where do you have Pacheco ranked? Because I think I
have Pacheco like right behind where I have Dowdle. I'm pretty sure. I think I have him 22, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm at 18.
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried about Pacheco's workload a little bit. But
I'm fine.
That being said, I think I'm fine, trusting the game environment. I think the Chargers are a beatable run defense. If you want to go Pacheco here, that's totally cool. Okay. I would potentially, like in full PPR, start 7 league. And I don't know what your team situation is. Are you an underdog? Are you the favorite? Whatever. I might just swing for JMO in this game environment, to be honest.
If you want to go JMO, I don't mind. They're close for me. It's RB 18 versus wide receiver 28, and I like the wide receivers better this week given the buys.
Yeah. I would probably go nutted for JMO here.
Not Debo. I misclicked. Not Debo.
We don't go Debo. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him, to be honest. He's almost assuredly going to be traded in the offseason.
If you're seeing who I'm sitting in for in my home league this week, box munchers, correction.
It's Nick Westbrook-Akine, isn't it?
Actually, okay, never mind. It was John Smith. I thought I benched him for somebody crazier like Parker Washington.
Yeah.
Eli has a question here as well. Redraft one quarterback, 12 team start 7. So we got Baker quarterback, running backs here. We're gonna go Brees Hall in a second, but let's Josh Jacobs for sure. Josh Jacobs, I love this week. I have him higher than you already know. He's my RB6 this week. And
the Lions are third in adjusted fantasy points against the running backs. And I know you're going to say, oh, they're so banged up on defense and stuff, but like they have like still been really good even despite the injuries.
Yeah, but they are also without their other 2 defensive tackles who aren't on injury reserve.
It hasn't really mattered this year. They've been good against the run no matter who they got out there.
Yeah, we'll see, man. When you're down 13 players in the front 7, I'm just going to trust the offensive line with Green Bay, the way they've been playing as of late. Also, the other thing I added onto the slip, Jordan Love, lower than 1.5 sacks taken. He's only taken 10 in 10 starts this year. And the Lions, deceptively, you'll see, okay, since week 8, 11 sacks in 6 games. 9 of those sacks came in 2 games against Houston and Chicago. In the other 4 games, 2 sacks, and that's including a blank sheet against Green Bay in week 9.
Yeah, I could see Love getting the ball out quick in this one. There might be a lot of passing, which is a little bit dangerous. Great. And Danny's just got.
I thought if I plugged it in, I'd be good. Sorry, here, let me actually switch it.
Christ.
All right.
Anyways, we got bad internet on my side. Danny's got terrible camera stuff. This is where we're at as a society. Running back 2 for this question for Eli. He's got Breece Hall, Tyrone Tracy as his main options there. I think if Breece plays, he's still a top 15 play for me, which is slightly higher than where I have Tyrone Tracy. So for me, I would go with Breece Hall with the second running back decision there. Danny, if you want to scroll down a little bit just so I can answer the wide receiver questions while you're replacing that. It says not decided. What do we got? It's going to let me see them. I guess not. You might have to click into the wide receiver ones just so I can actually see. Okay, there we go. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so Breece Hall is probably what you're going with there. And then wide receivers, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins probably got to be in your lineup, I would imagine. But Tyreek is pretty close there as well. I mean, you're already starting Chase. Higgins is expected to see shadow coverage from Deron Bland, according to fantasy points. I'd probably go with Tyreek Hill over T. Higgins if I was given the opportunity, especially knowing that you're starting Chase already.
Yeah, if you have Chase, I don't mind tie breaking like that.
Yeah, kind of a shitty decision point that you have every single week to have to sit one of Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. So the next question here is from Jobby 2 here. He says quarterback. He's considering Jordan Love. And he said, did this to say thanks for all the content. First time fantasy player, top of the league. Thanks to you. Hey, shout out. And also appreciate you, Jobby, for submitting a $16 question. Definitely above the minimum requirement there. So we really appreciate that. I cannot see his other quarterback options, but I can answer the running back questions off of the stuff that's listed there. It looks like it's just going to be Jordan Love. So I can't imagine there's any other decision you have there. Breece Hall, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown. I mean, I actually have Chase Brown rated the highest of this group, given the matchup versus the Cowboys. He is just an absolute smash play this week. So I would probably roll Chase Brown, and it's tough because both Breece Hall and Bucky Irving, neither of them have practiced the last 2 days. So you're looking at 2 guys coming in where Friday practice is going to be crucial, and there's a chance that both of them are out. There's a chance that both of them play. I tend to think both of them will play. It's just that they're coming off of like light weeks of practice. So for me, it'd be Chase Brown. Second would probably be Breece Hall, given the matchup. But Bucky Irving is very, very closely tied into that decision. And if you do have a flex spot available, I would imagine I would probably say to put Bucky Irving in there. The wide receiver position, you got Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Jaden Reed, Ladd McConkey, and T. Higgins. So of this group, let me take a look at who I have. These guys are all relatively close in my rankings, so I got to take a look at who I actually have rated the highest. So Malik Neighbors, I believe, is the highest rated of this wide receiver decision that you have. Given the matchup versus New Orleans, they're pretty light against wide receivers, so I think Malik Neighbors, given the targets that he sees on a weekly basis, seems like a pretty good option for you there. Ladd McConkey, is he practicing today? Because he was banged up, obviously. Limited again on Thursday. McConkey's probably number 2 of this group, just given what he's been able to do. But the matchup against Kansas City is not ideal. I do have Jaden Reed 1 spot behind Ladd McConkey. And then I also have Garrett Wilson within my top 20 1 wide receivers as well. So this, and T. Higgins is also right in this range. Like, this is a very difficult decision, man. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. This is really hard. T. Higgins is my second highest. Now that I think about it, I have to move him up. So I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors, T. Higgins with this decision point. But like, dude, Jaden Reed, Ladd McConkey, and Garrett Wilson being on the bench is a difficult pill to swallow. I really do not know exactly how you're going to make this decision, because it feels like all of these, whatever receiver you pick here, feels like it's going to be wrong. Like, it's difficult. Okay. So for me, Danny, if you want to throw in Chase Brown, and then for me, it would be, Chase Brown would be the one. Oh, I didn't even realize.
Neighbors and Higgins for me pretty easily here.
Who is this?
Neighbors and Higgins.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the two that I settled on as well. I don't think it's pretty easily. Like, I actually really, really like McConkey and Reed this week.
I really like them, but when we're looking at my rankings, I have T. Higgins at wide receiver 9. I have Malik Neighbors at wide receiver 10, and I have, who are the other two? McConkey at 14, and what was the other one? Garrett Wilson. I have him at 21. I have him in Devontae Adams back-to-back in a tough matchup.
Yeah, dude, I have Neighbors at 10, 11 for Higgins, and then I have McConkey 13 and Jaden Reed 14. Like, they're all that close.
Where do you? Sorry, repeat that.
I have Jaden Reed at 14.
Ooh, that's high. I have my 23.
It's a great matchup for him.
I don't like
And it's
them.
the
I don't
highest
like the
scoring game
usage.
environment on the slate. Amik Robertson's the weakest corner on the team.
I
And
mean,
he's
it's fair.
anytime he's seen more than 75% of the routes, which he saw last week with Romeo Dobbs out of the lineup, he's been over 15 PPR point per game receiver. So I don't
I'm
know.
just a little concerned last week because a lot of that production was off the 2 touchdowns on the goal line. That was made by special teams mistake, I believe, and a defensive mistake or defensive play.
He was also missed for a long touchdown on the first drive.
Yeah, fair.
Like he had a 60-yard touchdown in his breadbasket, and Jordan Love missed him.
Yeah.
But anyways, the flex decision for me.
Bucky Irving's still available. It's Bucky Irving. What?
This is an insanely close decision.
Bucky, very comfortably Bucky Irving for me.
I mean, if Brees is healthy, to me, him and Brees are very, very close.
You want to know where
I do have Bucky Irving higher.
I have Bucky at 5 and I have Brees at 13, assuming they're both playing.
Yeah, I don't have Brees that far ahead or far behind Bucky. I have him 7 and 11.
Okay,
so fair. They're a little closer for me, but I do have Bucky higher, which is crazy that we're at a point now where my throw-in for the Ayuk trade is now RB7 in week 14.
Well, how about my boy Chase Brown's my RB2 this week, and he was viewed as worthless in week 3 of fantasy, week 4?
Yeah, insane. You know what? All it matters, I could have made as many mistakes as I did in the Flock League, and I made many of them. But all that matters is I got a big stack of bags on Chase Brown and Bucky Irving in best ball. So
you sound like me when I celebrated James Cook dropping a deuce on my head.
Yeah, dude, that was funny.
That was funny. Also, get Jobby a voucher.
Yeah, I can.
Did this to say thanks for all the content. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, definitely get Jobby a voucher. We'll get you going. Get you going through the fantasy playoffs. Caleb, a quarterback. Yep. Okay, so that looks set there. Running back. Okay, so you're just considering the wide receiver in the flex spot. Okay, got it. I mean, Mike Evans is the lock here, and then I would go CeeDee Lamb as my next one. In a great matchup. It sounds like he's going to play. He already said to reporters he's going to play.
I think I might have Tyreek higher. Hold on.
Against the Bengals, dude? CD?
Yes. Sorry, I have Lamb. These guys are 12, 14, and 15 for me. They're all very close. I have Lamb, Reed, Hill, all 12, 14, 15.
I have Lamb higher than you, which is no shock to anyone.
Absolutely zero people are shocked. Danny, if you had to sort by ECR every week, Danny's 6 spots higher on every Cowboys player every single week. You can hit the refresh button there.
I did. It just came in. I clicked the refresh button and it took me out of the tab. Unless I probably pressed this one without thinking.
Yeah, you probably did.
Why does Doom guys still show up? It's already been done.
Yeah, it's because it's still in in progress, I think.
Got you. Okay. That makes sense. Keep up the great content. Just here to Glaze FSC. Appreciate you, Willis. Let's get you going though. So we got Brees Hall here. DeAndre Swift, I believe, would be the RB2.
Yeah, you're gonna go Swift RB2 there.
Yeah.
Wide receiver.
I mean, Puka is going to be my one there.
And Jefferson.
Yeah, I didn't even see Jefferson. That's kind of crazy. Tight end, I'm going with Hawkinson.
Yeah, I'd probably go Hawkinson. I mean, you're handicapping yourself regardless because you got Hawkinson and Jefferson and Laporta and St. Brown. So
you're just not going Kraft over any of those guys. So
no. Flex decision. It's between Neighbors. Yeah, he's probably the best option, and then London, I guess.
He's got London too.
Holy London fuck. Over Wilson. This is an insane wide receiver core, dude. And this is precisely, I think, why he's saying I'm here to glaze FSE. Dude, in a 1 quarterback dynasty league, you have Drake London, Malik Neighbors, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Puka Nacua. Those guys are all first-round startup picks, as is probably Brees Hall.
Yeah, that's pretty... Yeah, we could just say next question. Appreciate you for the support.
That is wild, dude. That is absolutely wild. We did get a question come in from CNAP, I believe. Yeah,
just refreshed. So we got Purdy at quarterback. I mean, Daniel's on bye, so actually you're not making any change there. You got Bucky Irving at RB1. Who do you have higher between Connor and Brees Hall? Because I think we might differ here.
Let me take a look.
I have Connor higher.
Are you trying to motivate Brees Hall by hating on him all week?
Not even, dude. You got 12 touches last week. Like he's dealing with a knee injury. He gets 12 touches, 62% of the snaps.
He's kind of stinky ass lately. You're right.
I mean, hopefully for my sake, that's just.
I need to get into the freaking big dog advance, and I need Brees to have a big game. Saquon's going to take care of his. Like my other running back that I got to count on, Saquon's got to play against the freaking Panthers. He's going to have like 40 fantasy points, but I need Breece Hall to put up a decent performance for sure.
Also, you're gonna disagree with me on this. I would go Calvin Ridley here. I would go DJ Moore, and then I go Breece Hall.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I mean, I think you can make the argument to go Garendo over DJ Moore.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Basically, I was just pointing Ridley over Moore. I do have in my rankings against.
Yeah, I have Ridley over Moore as well.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Revenge game,
considering baby. Wednesday and Thursday he's not practicing, DJ Moore, and it's Calvin Ridley's revenge game against Jacksonville.
Yeah, dude. What about the revenge game? Is so sweet. With that being said, Nick Westbrook-Ikine is on such a fucking heater right now. Does he keep the touchdown streak going? Like, what's going on here?
God. Nick Westbrook-Ikine is like your new favorite player because he
has 8 touchdowns on 20 catches this year, dude. What is going on?
That's like Robert Tonyan numbers.
Dude, he has 8 touchdowns in his
last. Remember Robert Tonyan had like 10 touchdowns on like 40 targets or whatever it was?
Yeah, dude. Fucking guy. Remember that year, Jonnu? Oh my God. Who was he playing for back? Oh, I'm trying to remember. Titans. He was the old Chig.
Oh, dude, Jonnu was like my dude. I remember the first year we had this channel, I was in love with Jonnu. I was absolutely in love with Jonnu.
For those of you that are curious, Brock was the victim of NWI the week he scored a 98-yard touchdown in a big play bonus league.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Oh, I'd be so pissed.
But yeah, Saquon against the Panthers, brother. Jesus,
yeah, that is crazy.
I think we should be caught up on questions. We can probably rip through our Underdog slips if you want.
Yeah.
To go through. I'll load
RGV. Are you Slush Monkey? I sent that to you today.
Yeah. So first of all, we're very sorry we did not get that to you.
I was sick on the weekend, and Bush has been dealing with so many internet problems in his new place. Apologies to that.
Yeah, and just the move in general too was like a pain in the ass. Yeah, but really, really sorry we did not get that to you earlier. I meant to do it like 3 different times, and I've been on. I'm not even kidding you guys when I say I have spent a total of 15 to 20 hours of my life the last 4 days on the phone with internet companies.
Well, I switched my provider to on Tuesday, but even before that as well, as you guys could have seen from the streams, my voice is starting to finally sound normal. Like even on the video yesterday a little bit, like it was better, but like you could hear it a lot more than you can right now. Like my voice,
I didn't really notice it too much on the video yesterday, but it was quite bad before that.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Well, I'm just glad I got my voice back. Like I thought I'd have it lost. I noticed it. I was like I was doing my work. You know, I'll put on some YouTube music in the other side. I'll just start singing and shit. Am I the only one that does that? Like, I have my 2 monitors. I'll put YouTube music on the one side while I'm doing my work and just jam out.
YouTube music is not something I've ever used. I can't say that.
I just opened a tab. I'm lazy to actually search Arthur Music. I search Arthur Music, Apple Music. Sorry, I see Arthur's name as I'm trying to say Apple Music.
Arthur Music.
Christ.
Yeah, I'll let you go through yours
facts
first. I loaded. I loaded yours in. If you want to rip through yours first, I'm going to grab mine here.
Respect. So if you guys watched the short today, you would have already seen this being posted up. But in terms of you that missed it, we'll start off with the Amon St. Brown higher than 32.5 first half receiving yards. Actually, we'll leave that to the end because once I explain the other two, it's going to make a lot more sense because they are pro Green Bay. Josh Jacobs is the first one I mentioned, higher 72.5 rushing yards. I already talked about 13 front 7 players from week 1 are inactive in this game, whether they're on IR, whether they are just out for this game. And we got, Levi Onwuzurike, Aiden Hutchinson, obviously early in the year. You got guys like DJ Reader, a ton of their front 7 players hurt. And Josh Jacobs, since the bye, has gotten 18 plus carries in each of those 3 games. I think if they're able to keep that run game on schedule, he's going to be fed the football. We're going to see him go higher than that yardage total. Jordan Love, I talked about it a little bit on stream, 10 sacks taken in 10 starts this year. And like I said, the Lions sack totals are skewed in the last 6 games. 2 of those games, they had 9 of their 11 sacks. The other 4 games, they only had 2 of them. So we are trusting Jordan Love in that offensive line. And then Amon St. Brown, like I said, if I think the Packers are going to be competitive on the other end, we're going to be forced to see the Lions actually throw the ball in the first half, which at times this year it doesn't really seem like to be the case. And Amon St. Brown, 28% target share player.
You have more than 60 seconds. This isn't your short, right? Like you don't have to talk that
I'm used to talking about them like it's a short, so it just comes out like that. It happens every stream too. I don't
like, is somebody timing you to see how quickly you could get these picks out?
Once you like make this, you know what I mean? Like
I got TikTok brain. Yeah. I got 10 minutes I can play with on TikTok. There's no rush for me. But these are the picks that I rolled with over on TikTok. I posted them on Twitter as well. as I talked about, I like Jaden Reed. And just so you know, I'm not bag defending any Jaden Reed. I don't have Jaden Reed really.
I don't have
anywhere
ownership
outside
of
like
any of the
best ball
players I
team.
talked about.
Anyways, Jaden Reed higher than a 9.85 fantasy points. He has the best matchup on the field. I think this game's going to be a shootout. It's a 51.5 point over under, and he's been a high touchdown scoring type of guy. I like Sam Laporta to probably find the end zone again. Bush is so skibbity. Stop it. Sam Laporta to probably find the end zone tonight. I think with Laporta, he's been getting the targets in the red zone. He's starting to play a little bit better, and it's kind of always been the case for Laporta that he just needed to play better. So I kind of like him to have a productive day against Green Bay, who also, by the way, is way better against fantasy wide receivers. They're 9th against wide receivers, and they're 27th against tight ends. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, I like him to go higher than 19.5 receiving yards. In the 6 one-score games that the Lions have played this year, Jahmyr Gibbs averages 29 receiving yards. So anytime they're not blowing the doors off of teams, which is most of the time for Detroit, he's actually getting involved as a receiver, and he would have gone beyond this total in 5 of those 6 games, the only one being last week against the Bears where he had 17 receiving yards. So definitely good option.
What is Dylan going on about right now?
So there's this stupid chain smokers brain rot version, and in our Discord, me and D-Bell just like played it, like he sent it to me, and it's just the stupidest fucking thing of all time. And I don't even know what half this shit means. Like, I know Livy is Livy Dunn. Aiden Ross is some Twitch guy. I don't know who the hell he is, but
wait, what you know about the Rizzler Bush?
I know he's the guy that goes like this. That's about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, all this brain rot.
Yeah, respect Dylan. Speaking of all the Twitter, social media brain rot, you see Hawk Tua is getting fucking rug pulls on their fans right now?
Yeah, I saw she made a meme coin. Dylan, did you buy it? I know you're
rug
into
pull,
meme
bro.
coins.
Big rug pull.
Yeah, that's insane.
No, the funniest dude. Do you follow Dave Portnoy?
I do not. I don't
I don't
want to subject my eyes to that.
Okay, I just gotta say, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. This guy freaking tweets out, Hawk Tua now making a meme coin after Tits McGee did a month ago, referring to Taylor Mathis.
Yeah.
She rugged
$75 from Bell. You fell for the Hawk Tua? Come on now.
He's definitely trolling. Wait, let me see if I can find it. Fucking Dave Portnoy. Here. Let's see where it is. Shit was comedy though when I saw it. If it's still up,
are you gonna scroll through your whole timeline instead of just searching his
yeah,
name?
there it is. Hawk to a rug pull. First Tits McGee, now Hawk to a girl. What a world. Has a whole clip of her explaining to CopyZilla basically how she just did a rug pull.
Yeah.
I mean, if the guy's gonna fund me a #1 quarterback, at least I can do is follow him on Twitter.
If you take it, advice from Hawk, you deserve to be rug pulled. Yeah, I'm surprised that every like viral person hasn't made a meme coin at this point. Like, how are we not getting like "Catch Me Outside" coin or whatever? You know what I mean? Like,
T-Bell links me a video saying, in brackets, lyrics. Rizzler, Giat, I was in Ohio before I met you.
Oh yeah, dude. It's so fucking funny. It's the dumbest, like I don't get half of it, but like it is just the dumbest fucking song of all time. Like the very first line of the song is just Giat. It's so stupid.
Bro. See, do you know Chill Guy? I'm just a chill guy. Do you know that?
Yeah, Dylan's been fucking meme coining Chill Guy.
Dude, you sound so old. I'm so sorry.
Dude, I'm fucking 26. I'm engaged.
2 years older than me.
I don't know any of this shit.
Am I just fucking young? I'm 2 years younger than you.
When are we getting FSE coin? Should we make a coin and rug pull it?
Fuck, bro. That'd be crazy. Oh,
So first of all, does anybody even get like disciplined for this? Because like, how is this not illegal? Like rug pulling stuff.
She could get sued 100%.
But like, I feel
if there's proof of insider trading, she could 100% get sued.
In
dude,
the Wild West.
Dude, if it gets proven to be insider trading because it looked like the coin got sniped and then sold, if there's proof of insider trading, she's fucked.
How is it not insider trading? Like if you're making your own coin, promoting it, and then selling it at some point in time, how is that not insider trading? You're the insider. You're the person who made it.
Who's the rug pull of fantasy? Kyle.
Kyle Pitts is definitely the rug pull of fantasy for sure.
A real Tony. Yeah.
How, like,
did you see I dropped him in the flock league, by the way?
Yeah, I did see that. Who's the biggest disappointment at every position in fantasy this year? Quarterback is Mahomes.
I'm biased. Brees Hall. Fuck that guy.
Okay, but let's go through
not really, but like
first. Quarterback is Mahomes, correct?
I mean, it has to be, right? Who else is like drafted high that's actually been a bust?
Like Lamar, Hurts, and Allen have all been great, so it can't be them.
You drafted a late round quarterback and it didn't work out. Who cares?
Stroud has been bad too. Yeah, Stroud could definitely. Richardson, yeah. I mean, I think Richardson was falling enough in people's drafts that it wasn't like super bad if you missed on Richardson, but I think the answer is definitely Stroud or Mahomes for sure.
Brandon knows ball. Tight end, I mean, Kyle Pitts.
Kincaid and Pitts.
All of them. And Andrews.
Andrews has been better than Kincaid and Pitts, at least.
They're all ass.
Plus, to be honest, the person who drafted Andrews is probably not the current person who rosters Andrews because he was on waiver wires for a while.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like running back. I mean, like think of
every running back's been elite.
Yeah, Laporta is also a big one. Laporta as well.
Yeah, Laporta's been pretty bad.
Dog water. You know,
running back. AJ
Brown's been good.
Gonna go nuclear this
week.
He's
been hurt. Yeah,
he's been hurt.
Oh, it's CMC. Duh, running back CMC.
Yeah, CMC is a pump and dump for sure. It's crazy though because when you think about like how many running backs have been bad reasonably since like where they were drafted, the answer is like none of the early round running backs outside of McCaffrey and Pacheco who got hurt are like have been bad realistically. Like everybody's been at least like kind of what you expected median projection or better. It feels like at least.
Also, by the way, we do have a trade question or a start set question from Blue, so I will share the screen.
Yeah. Someone fire in one for wide receiver. Ayuk was definitely shit before he got hurt.
Ayuk's a good one. Blue favorite streamers in the flex.
Garrett Wilson's probably the answer though.
So I mean, you're just going Brees Hall or Braylon Allen, depending who plays, and then you mentioned in terms of sleepers for the flex. Let's take a look here. I mean, I'm going to be having a whole sneaky starts video tomorrow, and I don't exactly know who's available in your league, but
if Tillman plays, he's going to be in your flex for me.
I don't think he's going to play.
So he hasn't cleared the protocol yet, but he's had he suffered the concussion on Thursday of week 12.
I'm starting NWI over him even if he plays, if NWI is available. And a great matchup.
NWI there as an option?
That's what I'm asking. Who's available?
Oh, okay.
I don't know who's available.
I mean, if Sincere McCormick is on his roster, I would assume NWI. I would assume NWI is not.
That's available. That's a good point. Okay. So hypothetically, let's just say, Cedric Tillman doesn't end up suiting up. Who's your pivot option? I mean,
you won't know about Tucker Kraft at the moment. You're probably waiver wire plunging, to be honest.
Do you just throw Tucker Kraft in tonight?
You could throw Tucker Kraft in tonight.
I think that's what I'm doing, to be honest, because I think even if Tillman plays, I'd almost rather Kraft in a good game environment.
So you'd rather Kraft than wait on Tillman, assuming, let's say, Brandon Cooks or somebody like that was available on waivers?
Well, I just don't think Tillman's somebody I really care about waiting about. Judy's kind of taken the lead as the number one as of late.
I don't know, man. Tillman was still commanding targets before suffering.
I don't disagree, but also it's still not a guarantee he's even going to play.
He also was supposed to see shadow coverage from Porter.
Yeah,
Judy.
I mean, we'll see what ends up happening. I just don't think he's good enough option to wait on.
Yeah, I mean, if Tillman's available on your guys' waiver wires, because I'm sure a lot of people have dropped him,
I
think you should definitely go pick him up because I still think he has a chance to be a viable wide receiver 3-4 type of play.
Trust me, I like Tillman the player. I'm just nervous coming off the concussion and not the greatest situation.
Yeah, I mean, concussion doesn't result in any production difference.
I get that, but we don't even know if he's going to come back. It is what I'm referring to.
Right, but he's still got 3 days to clear the protocol. It's not like you have to it's not a lower body injury where if you're not practicing, you're fucked. It's like if it's concussion, once you clear, you're fine.
I'm just saying I don't think he's an evidently better option than a top 12 tight end in my rankings that Kraft is.
Well, I don't have him in my top 12, but I'll give you that.
Kraft?
I have Kraft. Tight end 15.
Ooh, who do you have above him? I'm at 11 actually, by the way.
So you might not have Ferguson moved up yet, but he was
I
ruled
have
in.
Ferguson at 10.
I am factoring that Kincaid might play, but if Kincaid is out, then he would be below Kraft, obviously. But I have him ranked as if he's going to play.
I have all those guys in my rankings. I have Ferguson at
Will
10.
Dissly, I have at 13.
I do as well.
Pat Fryermuth is at 14 for me. He has a great
14.
matchup versus the Browns there. So I have Kraft at 15.
Oh, you have Kincaid at 11.
I have Kincaid at 11, Ferguson 12, Dissly 13, Fryermuth 14, and Kraft 15.
Okay, I have it Ferguson 10, Kraft 11, Laporta 12, Dissly 13, Fryermuth 14, Kincaid 15. That would be the difference.
Yeah. So this one is copium, but I do have Laporta ranked at 8 because I think, like I said, the matchup is 27th adjusted fantasy points.
Please tell me you don't have him above Evan Ingram.
I don't.
Okay.
Evan Ingram is at 7.
John, you have him above Johnny, don't you?
Or no, sorry, hold on. I do have him above Evan Ingram. Johnny's at 7 for me.
Okay.
Ingram is at 9. I'm factoring that Mac Jones is going to start. If Lawrence was going to start, I would move Ingram ahead.
Oh, I don't disagree. I don't know.
I mean, I
could look forward. I mean, Laporta's about to paying off his touchdowns at this point. He's a touchdown.
It is, but he has an objectively really good matchup, and the wide receivers for the Lions don't. So that's why I'm thinking he's got a pretty good spot to potentially have a 45-yard touchdown type of game.
Six for me, Nemesis.
Yeah, I also have him at 6 as well.
Yeah, and then we'll get to some pre-comments unless there's more on the site. But I don't know. I'd be comfortable putting Kraft in. I'll just make sure Njoku's the one in the flex. I mean, Njoku and Tillman. That's another thing. Njoku and Tillman are on the same team. Maybe you just want to make the bet on Njoku too. That's another factor. Like I'm saying, you don't have to play both Browns.
Yeah. I mean, I would just rather play Njoku in the tight end spot and flex. I mean, you're going to play, I guess, Kraft in the tight end spot because he plays tonight. But I mean, I would definitely play Njoku over Tillman, all things being equal.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll.
Njoku is my tight end 5 this week. Like I have him like extremely high.
I'm not. I love Njoku as well this week. He's my tight end 5. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, because you have Njoku, that'd make you less likely to want to put Tillman in.
Yeah, Evans. Nemesis, he gets veteran days off. He doesn't practice.
He's my water receiver.
That's the thing with Tampa Bay. It always has been. If you look on our injury report every single Wednesday, Levante David, Mike Evans, Will Golston, they all will not practice every single Wednesday.
The Dolphins have been doing that with Tyreek too, but to be fair, that's been managing the wrist injury. He hasn't practiced every Wednesday, and I swear to God, every Wednesday during the weeks, it's like, is Tyreek Hill going to play this week? It's like, dude, he's been sitting out every Wednesday.
30 years old. Like, they don't need him to practice.
Like, what does he have to show on the field? He's got to prove himself. He's got to prove himself.
Yeah, he's got to prove himself on the field. He's on Wednesdays. That's when he's banging. He's got tons of kids, man. Like this. When do you think he's doing this? It's Wednesdays.
He's got another one.
His veteran day off. That's what he does on veteran days off.
Buddy, it's just like, if I met him in person, I'd just shake his hand and be like, "Yo, congrats on the sex, bro."
I maybe make him wash his hands first, but yeah.
Hey, apparently he hasn't been needing his hands.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, Tyreek is just doing crazy shit out here.
I'll keep refreshing on the site if we have any, but we're all caught up on that end right now.
Broxic, it's every day.
But he loves to bang.
Tyreek, when he's done playing on Sundays, he puts an ice pack on his balls and gets back on the horse.
But he's a banger.
Yeah. I'll go back up to the top here because we do have some mods with some questions.
Sorry, more 1,000-yard seasons remaining or babies?
He's probably gonna have more babies. That sperm's good for life. 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Chase Brown, Tracy, Pacheco, Dowdle, wide receivers, Marvin Harrison, Tyreek, Myers, London. This is the hardest week because everyone played well last week and I need a win. So for me, I would go Chase Brown and Tracy for the running backs. I don't know. Do you have Dowdle ahead of Tracy?
Yeah.
Okay. I have Tracy ahead of Dowdle, but it's close enough that I don't really have a preference.
I love the matchup against Cincy. Cowboys are actually implied for a really respectable total. It's one of the higher implied totals in terms of higher over-under in this slate. I honestly just think Dowdle, like, if he's going to have a week with a lot of touchdown equity, it'd be this week.
Yeah, that's fair. I like the matchup better for Tracy. Like efficiency.
I hope you're right. I have Tracy.
Good run defense.
I hope you're right for the record. I have Tracy and Sal has Dowdle. So Dowdle having a down week and Tracy having a big week. I got to make up 25 points on him, even if I want a chance to make the playoffs, assuming both of us win our matchups.
Yeah. And between Harrison, Tyreek, Myers and London. First of all, are you flexing Tracy / Dowdle, whichever one we don't go with, or are you playing a receiver over one of those guys there?
I go 3 backs.
You play 3 backs? Okay, so who are the receivers that you're playing? Tyreek and London?
Yeah. I would play Tyreek in London. For what it's worth, for for me personally, it would be between Harrison Jr. and Tracy for the last flex spot. But because you have Tracy above Dowdle, I would probably just go with both running backs. They are in really good spots.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyways, I think I would go with Harrison over Dowdle personally, and put.
And I would go with Harrison over Tracy. So it evens out.
So that's why we're kind of capitulating there. Joe says I'm Jobby 2 on the Flock site request. While I'm interested in your views, it was more to say thanks for all of your
appreciate
content.
you, bro.
I needed to pay for something. Do you like my team? Yes, your team is in quite good shape, and honestly, like really appreciate you saying like you needed to pay for anything. I mean. Yeah. I'm sure there's people out there in our audience that have never shot a dime to us, and we're totally cool with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we don't do this to make money. Like obviously it's great that we get to do this as our jobs, but that's not the reason we do it. We like helping you guys with your team. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that have been following us for years who have never done anything except for watch videos.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, even when we started, dude, like we've been saying that from day one. I mean, like we're for a full look behind the curtains, like the first 8, 9, even 10 months, like we weren't even making a dime for the most part. Like, yeah, we were making a little bit after the September, but like the time it actually became like a full-time type of living for us was probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like the first couple of years, like
was the first year that we like filed taxes with like reasonable income that was required to pay tax on.
It's never been about that for us. And again, if you're doing the math there, like we started in March 2020, so like we wouldn't.
It was like 2.5 years before we made reasonable income there. So, after a 5-game winning streak, we also have 7 teams that have been. Yeah, year's been crazy, dude. There's you know how many leagues I've heard that from? People being like, man, like everybody in my league is like 7-6 or 6-7. Like, oh, look at our Flock league is a perfect example. Aside from me, Mason, and Zach, everybody's like 7-6 or 6-7.
Yeah, for real. Let me see. Oh my god, yeah, dude. The Box Munchers League is the same thing. The fucking Fellas League, the same thing. I want to see if we go into the Listener League, we're probably going to see the same thing. No, the Listener League is actually a little bit more top heavy. I just realized because me, you, and Mountain Mike. Speaking of Mountain Mike, buddy, I can't let that happen. I'm sorry, brother. I am going to.
Our Listener League. Is it impossible for me not to get a bye? I'm just curious.
If you lose and
it's impossible for me not to get a bye. Yeah, because I have 300 more points than anybody in this league.
Yeah, I'm finally healthy though, so don't count your chickens before the eggs hatch. Baby.
I'm not counting anything. I'm glad that I don't have to win this week.
Good point.
But I mean, I would love to finish the season 11-3 and finish it strong. So
yeah, no, I feel you on that.
Why couldn't this be the league that we were documenting on a YouTube channel? Like, of course, it's got to be the team where I just have like the most dog shit team I've ever had in my life.
It's kind of urine. I can't lie. No, I'm kidding.
It is a bad team. It is a bad team.
Dude, I'm trying to figure out who the fuck I'm going to pick up for Chris Rodriguez in this league. Why do I have him? When did I pick him up? I must have just I didn't realize he had a bye. I must have just free picked him up after the week. Okay, so I'm gonna
appreciate that, Arthur. He said y'all deserve every penny. Best analysis
that, bro.
Out there. And Brock said great analysis, great people. Y'all deserve it. I don't know who's Sophie Rain. Is that like a TikTok person? I don't know.
Oh yeah. That's a TikTok person.
Everybody in my mind who I don't know is a TikTok person.
Yeah, that's a TikTok person.
I'm becoming an old man.
Debo, you in here?
Nah, dude, I might just need to have a kid or something soon because I don't have an excuse. It'd be like if I have a child, then I'm like, you know what? I have more important things to do than fucking watch TikToks.
Also, I had Chris Rodriguez on my roster when. Yeah, no. Actually,
is she like an OnlyFans girl or something? Is that what
that's why. So got reported on Twitter.
Oh, she is the one that makes more than LeBron James, right?
She made $48 million and had 4.7 from a single donor. Is the story that got reported? She's a great entrepreneur.
4.7
from a single donor, dude. So, dude, she had her own Larry Ellison to the Michigan Wolverines football program.
That's crazy. Protect Corey at all costs. That's funny.
Corey, you're fucking innocent.
Am I innocent? Is that how it's coming off? I honestly just don't care. Like that's more what it is.
Yeah, dude. Who we buying tonight?
Touch grass.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, who we buy? We were talking about OnlyFans models. I don't know. You buying the package?
Real fantasy sports usually. I think he usually pays attention to my the TikToks that I post on Twitter. Okay. So maybe he's looking for the picks here. We already went over them, but Jaden Reed fantasy points, Sam Laporta fantasy points, and then Gibbs receiving yards was the tweet I put out. If you go to my Twitter profile, you'll see it there, or on TikTok. If you guys are. If you also, it's so funny to me that I make TikToks and I've never watched a TikTok. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. Once I post a TikTok, I don't ever open the app. I've never watched a fantasy TikTok. I've never watched a non-fantasy TikTok. Like, even when Maria shows me TikToks, like, hey, look at this recipe or whatever, I'm like, no, get that away from me. It's brain rot. Just tell me the ingredients and we'll make the food.
Yeah. Put the fries in the bag. By the way, you see, apparently Zach Martin is expected to retire.
Yeah, I mean, good career for the kid.
It's fucking painful. Ever since I've been in high school, that's when he's been a Cowboy. 2014 was his draft year.
Yeah, I get my TikToks 2 days later on Instagram. I've always wondered.
Maybe show a little more nip or something.
Yeah, dude, we might need to go shirtless like Mason.
I was gonna say the Flock League, they love Mason shirtless. Maybe the trend is just showing body parts. That's what.
Honestly, I might. So I'm debating this.
I'm debating making an OnlyFans.
No, this January, when like things start to cool down a little bit, I might just go like sweat lord hard at the gym and just like show up next year for the Flock League like as ripped as Mason.
Yeah, maybe I should consider slimming out for the shirtless vlogs.
That'll help. It's definitely a lack of muscle mass is the reason my team sucks, because like, just think about the bad teams in this league. Like, who's also right there with me and Nathan. It's like we're lacking muscle mass relative to the rest of the league here. Dude, definitely why. But Zach's in first, and Zach's the same size.
That's fair. I was gonna say, I'm like, for like every you, Zach, and Nathan, like you guys get offset by me, Avery, and Badaki.
Yeah. You know Avery's just a great guy. Honestly, I'm glad if Avery beats me this week, like he's, I'm going to pull the Nathan where I'm like, I'd love to lose to Sal. He's just a great guy or whatever. But like, I mean this genuinely, like Avery might be the nicest guy I've ever met in my life.
He's such a nice guy.
Like, he's such a nice guy. We just roll with Avery's cool. Like we'll let Avery can beat me. It's fine.
Yeah, he's just watching right now, clipping it for the Flock League.
He's going, you mother fricker.
Oh man.
Okay, well the game is on.
By the way, one thing for those of the people that just watch the Flock League and don't watch our own channel, they probably think I'm the biggest douchebag you'll ever possibly fucking meet.
Well, I mean, if they've never, so I don't know how they would never have watched Mason because the Flock League.
No, our channel.
I don't know, but I'm just saying if they had never watched Mason somehow, like let's say they watched our channel and they just watched the Flock League for us, or they watched the domain guys or the land guys or whatever, Mason being like as obnoxious and narcissistic as he is in those vlogs, like people might hate him in those. But I think he knows that like it's 90% his audience watching it. So I think he's probably
look at the comments alone. Like you could tell.
Yeah, I know. Mason's the most handsome guy. Oh, look at this. Jameer Gibbs, what did I say? Hit over on his receiving yards. He's already got like 8 receiving yards. Let's go.
Oh, nice. I have him in my home league. And for reference, in my home league, I need to win against a 7-6 team. I'm 6-7. I'm playing against an 8-5 team. I need to win against him, and I'm currently, I believe, in 8th place. Would need 2 of the 7-6 teams in front of me. There's 4 of them to lose because I have the points for advantage. So need 2 7-6 teams to lose, and 2 of them actually play each other. So I would need 1 extra one to lose. So let's hope I can win, and that happens.
But anyways, we covered it all in today's live stream. Appreciate you guys for submitting questions. Appreciate you for educating me on the thirst trap ladies out there and some of the TikTok brain rot that's going down. But yeah, appreciate you guys for joining us. Leave a like. We'll have you covered for Danny's going to get you some sneaky starts tomorrow because we got 6 teams on bye, and then we will have you for RB and wide receiver tier list. Hopefully I haven't killed an Rogers agent by this point in time, and I have real internet and I don't have to hotspot myself.
Corey, no
What's up?
excuse for you to not watch college football on Saturday because it is championship weekend.
Oh, I'm gonna watch Texas and Georgia. Don't worry about that.
Who you got?
Anyways,
Horns?
I want to see Danny drunk. Well, just wait till the NFL draft.
Oh boy. Oh boy. NFL
By the
draft.
way, I didn't tell you this yet, but I bought the chairs. So in my beside me, I don't know if you guys hear like a little bit of an echo. It's because the room I'm in is 6 times the size of the room I used to be in before when I was recording, and it's really empty right now because it's just like my desk and like other shit in here. But I bought like swivel chairs, and we're gonna have like a in-person setup. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Maria will kill me for saying this, but maybe Danny could come over for the draft and we can live stream the whole draft together in person. That would be a lot of fun for sure.
I'll bring a couple bottles.
But again, I need internet for that. So
that's a good
hopefully
point.
that problem is solved by April.
Hey, buddy, once I get you on some real Italian vino, you won't go back.
Dude, I was in Sicily for 12 days.
I'm talking about my nonno's homemade stuff. We're talking about real. You taste.
Get me on prison wine or whatever the fuck he's.
You taste the fucking torque in that wine when it's homemade. Oh, you know the difference.
Yeah. Oh, they drink that. Dude, when I was in Sicily, they like literally fed it to us like it was water. They're like, do you want regular or sparkling? Like that's what they say to you. It's like I actually don't really drink wine, but just bring it.
Always
to me,
regular. Always regular.
But anyways,
sparkling line.
Appreciate you guys for joining us. I've tried to close this out 16 times. Peace out.
See ya.